To your leave, you just announce to the participants for a break.
Sure.
Okay, so good afternoon, all the participants and attendee of this session. We are going to start our first session, that is technical session of this workshop, this fourth edition of this online workshop on emerging tools and technologies in research. This session is going to be taken care by Professor Paramartha Dutta in the topic which is very much essential to all the research scholars, faculty members, students, irrespective of the disciplines and the department. Let me introduce the speaker of this session. Professor Paramartha Dutta is a professor in the Department of Computer and System Sciences in Visva-Bharati University, West Bengal. He did his bachelor's and master in statistics from ISI Calcutta, then completed his master's in computer science from the same institute. He received his PhD in engineering from Bengal Engineering and Science University, Shibpur in 2005. He is the recipient of Excellence in Science and Technology Award in 2018 conferred by the Indian Science Congress Association, Government of India, and INSA Teacher Award in 2019 conferred by Indian National Science Academy, Government of India. Professor Dutta has several years of teaching and research experience. His prime focus on research includes quantum dot cellular automata, image processing, cloud computing, meta-heuristic techniques, to name a few. He has co-authored 8 books, 13 edited books, and more than 300 publications in journals of report and conferences. In addition, he is co-inventor of 17 published patents. A large number of scholars have completed their PhD, that is masters and including the masters under his supervision. Professor Dutta is a member of various professional bodies. At the same time, he has been nominated by MHRD Government of India as the member expert of the selection committee for Award of Commonwealth Scholarship offered by the Government of United Kingdom in 2010, and the member chairman nominated by UGC of the Review Committee of Special Assistance Program in the Department of Computer Science and Automation, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore in 2011. He has always been kind enough and consented to be the expert in all our previous events. So I heartily thank the organizing committee are heartily thankful to you, sir, and you have taken all your pain to take this very important topic like LaTeX. So all are eagerly waiting for your session, sir. So with this introduction, I'd like to hand over the session to you, sir, please.
Okay, so let me start. I think let me share first. So is it visible now?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Thank you for providing me the opportunity. Thank you, Tripura University. So Joyanto happens to be one of my very sort of student as well as colleague, whatnot. So in fact, time is very short, and something to discuss with or maybe to extra, to detail with a topic like LaTeX is somewhat ambitious. Am I audible, by the way, to everybody?
Yes, sir. Clearly audible, sir.
Okay. So it is quite ambitious. So I will, my plan is I will proceed. There are so many features, and so far the time permits, I will try to do whatever I can cover, and that's it. Okay. So let me allow, and it may so happen that all the things may not be covered. Okay. So please, I may please be excused, and I apologize. So my slides are also visible, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So this is the roadmap of today's talk. Introduction, then typesetting text, mathematical issues or mathematical expressions, things like that, document structure, figures, tables, bibliography, presentations, etc. Now, out of these, first of all, LaTeX is a document preparing software, which basically is used, or better to say, it is what it is equipped for doing is preparing scientific or technical document like that. So it's very much oriented for that purpose, rather than simply writing down a text like that. So, so there are so many, facilities offered by LaTeX as a platform, the software itself, and the way of functioning of LaTeX while preparing a particular document vis-a-vis very popular, popular word processing software like Word. The way it works, they are different. So what happens is that I have every reason to presume that all of us must be available. Very much acquainted with Word, using words. So what happens is that while preparing a document, however, whatever document it may be, however small or big or whatever, we go on basically typing, pasting figures, creating tables, so on and so forth, and go on saving, and the saving of the file is instantaneous, and basically whatever we do, we get the result in somewhat in online manner, in the sense that straightway it is visible. So the effect is visible right there. On the contrary, when it's a question of using LaTeX, it works, or it operates in a different way. What happens in case of LaTeX is that it's a basically script. So it's sort of a coding type of thing where you have to put in all your codes, adhering to the underlying grammar. So there's grammatical structure like that. So all you have to know that the grammar, how to deal with different type of effects to be given. So suppose you want to create a table, so there is specific script for that with underlying grammar, and you just complete the script for getting that type of an effect, and you compile and get the effect. So naturally, the result is not straightforward immediately, but it has got its advantages. Okay, so I shall be discussing all these things in due course of time as we proceed. Now, so far as this outline of my today's talk is concerned, there is some introductory part which primarily deals with this part, which I have got very little time to work on. So let us proceed without wasting time. So this is the genesis of the term LaTeX. It's originally it came into being in this way. So historical genesis is this. Now, it's a typesetting system, and it's very much similar like a markup language like HTML. So as I have already mentioned, that is it's a language type of structure or scripting language which you have to deal with while preparing or providing a particular type of effect in a document. So it has got very close sort of correspondence, structural correspondence with HTML. Okay, so its focus or its emphasis is on the logical structure of the document rather than getting the immediate effect as it happens in case of Word. Okay, so for example, if we want an effect like what is visible in the right hand side, long-lived LaTeX. So the formality, the script that we have to develop is like this, written in the left hand side. Okay, so now in course of our brief discussion today, we shall try to cover some of the very frequently used scripts like this, which are quite frequently used in day-to-day life for our purpose. Okay, so now basically document class is a declaration which is mandatory in any LaTeX document. So document class is basically specify the class of document that you are trying to prepare. Whether it is an article, it may be a report, it may be it may be a book, something like that. And then there is begin document and end document, indicating the logical beginning and logical closing of the document, and whatever you want, it should lie in between. So this is what it is, and naturally document class article, like begin document and end document, and in between that, if you write a script like this and compile, you will get an effect like this. So I'm sorry, I have to leave for maybe 5 minutes. Please bear with, as I have already indicated. So sorry for the interruption, and I sincerely apologize. Okay, so I have to wind up that meeting I was talking about. So please.
Okay, sure, sir. And I request all the participants kindly bear with us.
I'm coming back very soon.
Yes, kindly bear with us for until sir rejoins.
So sorry for the interruption. Are you with me? Hello? Am I
Yes,
audible?
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
sir, you are audible.
Sorry for the interruption. So
Yeah.
basically, as we have seen so far, document class declaration is a mandatory declaration, which must be accompanied by the specification of the type of document that we are about to prepare, whether it is an article, it may be a report. In that case, you have to put report here. It may be a book, or there are so many other facilities or type of documents specifications offered by LaTeX as a system. Then begin document and end document. Now, please note one thing at this very at this outset is that there are basically some descriptions preceded by backslash, and some where there is no backslash. Now, anything starting with a backslash, say for example backslash LaTeX or backslash begin backslash document class. So anything that starts with a backslash, it means it's an instruction. Okay, so when a particular script is submitted for compilation by the LaTeX compiler, then whenever the compiler encounters something starting with a backslash, it immediately understands that it is a piece of instruction. Naturally, the compiler has to do it accordingly. Whereas, on the contrary, if any text not starting with a backslash, it is a common text like long, live, etc. Okay, so, and needless to mention that whenever this question of instruction comes, so backslash must be followed by valid keyword or valid reserved words earmarked for instructions. Okay, so backslash something which is basically an instruction, gives the interpretation of an instruction, will be decoded accordingly by the compiler, right? So now the idea is that the entire vision system is somewhat different. The system is the vision, the way we look at it in the new scenario is this: I want a piece of text appearing like this, whatever is in the right hand side. And if I want to achieve this, what do I need is basically some code, and the corresponding code is like this. Essentially, the code is long live backslash LaTeX, but these are basically this document class begin and end. These are mandatory declarations without which the processor cannot start processing, okay, or compilation cannot be done. So this is part of formality, right? So now, in fact, the way LaTeX as a system, a separate platform developed over time, starting in 1970s. So it basically Donald Knuth was the original designer. So it's basically Knuth's creation that way. And later on, Lamport was the responsible person who enhanced the scope drastically. I mean, now LaTeX otherwise is a very strong and formidable platform used for the purpose of document preparation, particularly scientific and technical document. So it's an indispensable part nowadays in common life today. Okay, so that is it. So this is basically some historical perspective, which for the sake of completeness is being presented here. Basically, the focus or the purpose is scientific or technological or technical document preparation, as has already been pointed out. Just a moment. বলুন। এটা মুশকিল আছে, যাই হোক আমি অলরেডি আবার এটাকে প্রিপোন করে শুরু করলাম, দেখি আমি কতক্ষণ লাগাবেন। ঠিক আছে, দেখছি। So once again, sorry for the interruption. Now today is day of interruption. Just a moment. Hello. এখন বলছি কেন? হবে না, হবে না। তুমি এসেছে নাকি? ও এসেছে, তাহলে ওকে লিখে দিতে বলো যে জিএসটি বিল দিতে পারবো না, তাহলে আমরা ক্যান্সেল করবো তার ভিত্তিতে। না, ক্যান্সেল হয়নি অফিসিয়ালি, মানে আমরা উইল বি ইন মানে অকওয়ার্ড সিচুয়েশন। আমরা ক্যান্সেল মানে কোন ক্যান্সেল হয়ে গেছে মানে কি? ওর রিটেন ডকুমেন্ট আছে। আরে যে এই দাও, আমি এটা অন্য মিটিং আছে, এটা পরে করছি তবে। So sorry for the interruption. So now the output that is typically generated typographical typographical point of view or presentational point of view is definitely is a nice something very lucrative and something very Are you with me? Sorry. Hello.
Yes, we are.
Yes, sir, audible.
So naturally, notwithstanding some inconvenience because of scripting and all these formalities, but when it comes to the question of appearance of the output, it's so promising that people are, and the way this document preparation procedure takes place is so much systematic and structured that any people of scientific bent of mind, they feel inclined to go for quite naturally go for LaTeX rather than Word. Now another advantage is that LaTeX offers is that since any scripting that one has to develop is essentially dealing with ASCII text. So any other non-ASCII characters or anything like that is not there. They are not present, as it happens in case of Word, because in a Word document there are formatting issues and formatting related information embedded in the file itself, causing it vulnerable basically, because you might have noticed that a particular Word file in a particular machine gets disturbed when it is opened in another machine or another device. So this type of problem is very much there while you use a software like Word. This type of problem is, and this is primarily because Word, in the Word document itself, this formatting information and all the relevant characters, hidden characters are present inside the document itself. But this is not the case in case of LaTeX, where in LaTeX all you have to do is to have an ASCII text used for the purpose of preparing your script, and So basically it is submitted to the compiler, LaTeX compiler, which does the rest of the thing, and document is prepared as per your requirement. Okay. So you don't have to bother about the formatting and all these things. Only thing is that if I want this type of an output, I have to know what type of scripting is appropriate for that, and I have to develop my scripting accordingly for possible submission, which is in a syntactically correct manner. That's it. So it's more a sort of a programming language rather than anything else. Now, that is why it's platform independent. In fact, all you need is, and that itself is its power. So all you need is that as a LaTeX compiler installed in your device to compile, and you submit it for compilation. You submit your script for compilation, LaTeX code for compilation. Now, that is what exactly you require. Now, this is something demotivating, but it's a note of caution or something. So if you don't have time to learn it, because it requires some learning procedure or some learning background before one becomes a good user of it. So if you don't have time, it's not exactly the cup of tea for that person. Well, your document is already written in using some other, say for example, some other word processor, say an Word document, some document written in Word. If I want that Word document be converted into LaTeX script like this, it's not straightforward. Okay, so what you care about the design of the is the design of the document. So basically, from technical point of view, by virtue of the fact that LaTeX is, I mean, in order to use LaTeX, you need to have the idea of a different scripting language altogether. So it's not for all, basically. So that is the reason why its usage is limited. But those who use it, those who are conversant with it, among them it is very popular. And in fact, this is the only option that they try to exercise. Now, how does it work? In short, you write your document in a plain text with comments that describe its structure and meaning, mentioned already. Then it is submitted to the processor. The LaTeX program processes your, programmer, the LaTeX program or compiler processes your text and commands to produce a beautifully formatted document. So the output is a formatted document, and your input to the compiler is the script which you prepare in ASCII text, entirely in ASCII text, for submission to LaTeX compiler for getting the formatted output. So, for example, this one is a piece of text. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now, see, when it's brown, if I want the word brown be given effect of that of a boldface, so \textbf, so that I have to put like this. So \textbf, whenever compiler encounters this, it immediately understands that \ means the comment. So what comment? TextBF is the comment. So TextBF means the boldface effect has to be given, and this effect has to be given to what? This is within the whatever is appearing within the brace, that means this brown. Similar is the story \underline. Okay, so underline will appear like this. \emph. \emph is basically italic mode, in sort of somewhat italic, in reverse italic type of thing. So it generates a structure like this. So this is the input to the LaTeX compiler. This is your code, and after compilation you get this. Okay. Okay. So for getting started, all you need is LaTeX installation with appropriate interpreters. That means LaTeX as a system. So it's available, freely available. All you have to do it is to download in your device. Complying all technical specification and requirement. Then there is a .tex file like this. It is .tex means it is the extension. So file name followed by .tex means a LaTeX script. That means the script that you use must have a .tex extension, .tex extension. So basically, the compiler, a LaTeX compiler expects a file with .tex extension, typically to process. Okay, so here it is now. Apart from this, you may also have external style files. Basically, additional style files are also available. Basically, add-on facilities, you may call that way or think that way. So some default style files are already available with the system itself, but later on some add-on style facilities have also been developed, which externally you may embed. Sort of library type of notion, you can think that way. Then in the question of editor, typical for LaTeX purpose, there are editors, but honestly speaking, since it is ASCII text, you don't exactly need separate editor for that. Just any editor will work, but in course of time, there are LaTeX compliant editors have developed, which basically govern you or give you some additional, flavor of using LaTeX as a scripting language. For example, whenever you start with say \begin document, then the corresponding \end document will automatically appear as a supporting stuff. So immediately indicating that the programmer knows, well, I have to put whatever I want between this begin and within this begin and end structure. So it's somewhat some guidance, additional guidance is provided by these typically LaTeX editors, which are earmarked for this purpose only. But as I have indicated, since you are ultimately at the end of the day, you are to deal with text file, ASCII text only. So any editor, any damn editor that is capable of accommodating ASCII text for the purpose of editing will work very fine. Okay. Now there are the question of compiler and packages you need for this purpose as a part of your installation. There are specifications for platforms like Linux, Mac, and Windows. So depending upon which platform you want to carry out your work, you have to do accordingly. Okay, so this is very much available free. You may always have it whenever you need. Well, coming to this LaTeX, editor part, there are different sources as well. WinEdit, Text Studio, these are LaTeX editor as I've specified a few moments back. Just a moment, please. Once again, sorry for the interruption. Okay. So after this installation or associated installation issues, now basically you prepare your, it has already been mentioned that you have to prepare complying all the syntax requirements of scripting, prepare your text document in a .tex extension file with mandatory declarations like document class, begin document, end document, etc. And then you just submit, and the LaTeX compiler will do the rest for you. This is compilation part. There is something called DVI, which deals with basically the display that is available straightaway as a result of what you compile. So this is .dvi extension. Well, you can prepare your .pdf also. So because at the end of the day, you have to prepare your .pdf. So starting from your LaTeX document or LaTeX file written in prepared adhering to all the LaTeX related scripting requirements. Ultimately, after compilation, the final compiled one version is your PDF document. Okay, so that is it. So this is the course. So start with hello.tex, then after compilation, you get an intermediate .dvi, then from DVI to PDF, using these facilities there, DVI, PDF, M, it will give the corresponding PDF file as output. Okay, so well, there are intermediate options also, like say if I want PostScript file, I may have it. So there are different options, you know. So depending upon which type of utility I want to I use, I will be able to grasp different intermediate formatted file system, file structures also. PDF LaTeX is particularly useful, which converts .tex directly into .pdf. So there are different options. In fact, if this present LaTeX system is installed, you will get so many options in menus, and you may explore using them. So all the facilities are offered in present day LaTeX compilation system. Associated extensions those are frequently encountered. One is .tex, then .bib. .bib stands for bibliography database file. Then .cls is abbreviation of class file. .bst bibliography style file. Then .sty means style file. There are external style files or style options available, add-on options, as has already been indicated. So there are different, file categories, frequently used file categories like that. So because of shortage of time, we cannot cover everything. Okay, so after this introduction, now basically we are in the typesetting issue. So see, if I want items appearing like this, so bulleted form or something like that, indented manner. So like items like tea, milk, and biscuits, all I need is \begin itemize, \end itemize them. These are put as \item. Okay, so tea, milk, and biscuits. So these are whatever is appearing within begin and within \begin and within \end. These are called environments. So itemize is the environment. Itemize is the environment that is particularly used to generate a format like this. So in course of preparing my document, if I need to prepare some piece of representation like this in indented manner, then this is what you have to do. Okay. So for example, if I want a figure like this or an image like this to be pasted or to be prepared, so the corresponding environment is figure. So begin figure, end figure, and then the corresponding instruction is / include graphics. And this is, you can specify your height, you can specify your width, height equal to something, width equal to something. So that way you can specify using within third bracket or box bracket. Then this within brace, this is basically the particular image that you are, image file which have to fetch. So lamport is the image file. Now I need to specify that this particular file lamport must be available in standard image format, format or image file formats like .bmp, .png or .gif or .tif, something like that. So standard image format files may be accommodated, and the file name has to be specified here. And whenever the compiler does its job, it will search for the corresponding file format out of within the particular folder and just fetch it from there, and create an effect like this. Okay, so now if I want to have an impression or have an effect like this, alpha square plus beta square equal to 1, and this is written within like an equation with an equation number accompanied by an equation number automatically generated. Then equation is the environment. So begin equation, end equation. Then interesting for getting alpha is for getting alpha. So this is alpha square. So / alpha is the command that you want. And now hat 2 means this is with superscript raising the power 2 plus this plus. Then / beta stands for generating beta, the symbol beta like this. So beta square equal to 1. Now equation is an environment which automatically generates equation number for you. You don't have to bother. So the first one will be numbered 1, the second one will be numbered 2, so on and so forth, automatically. Okay. Okay. Just a moment, please, once again. So now formally the meeting is over. So welcome back. So itemize, whether it is itemize or figure or equation, these are different instances of environments, and different environments are used for in your script for achieving different type of effects that you want. So as a LaTeX professional or LaTeX person, all you need to know is which effect is generated by which type of environment, or which environment yields what type of an effect. So once that one is conversant with, LaTeX is just exactly what one should be inclined to using. Now use comments to describe what it is, not how it looks. So how it looks is not exactly your requirement. In fact, that is already taken care of by you. And in order to get that impression, you have to specify or identify your exactly your sort of environment, and you just do it. What you do. Okay, so rest is the responsibility of the system. Focus on the content and logical structure of your document. So it's otherwise extremely logical, and its major strength is there itself. Okay, and I mean, major part of the responsibility is taken care of by the LaTeX as a system platform. So you do something and rely about the rest upon the system. It will do the rest. Because of this advantage, LaTeX is otherwise, particularly those users who are conversant with LaTeX, is very popular one for them. So it's a typical one. So first LaTeX document with some facilities embedded inside. So document class is a mandatory declaration. Then the fag end, I mean the last lap of this particular one is the begin document. So see, document class is a mandatory declaration. Its type is article, document type is article. And this is begin document, means this is the logical beginning of the document. And there must be some end document, maybe in the next page. But in between the declaration of document class and begin document, there may be some portion, which is essentially the header portion. It's very much similar like a programming language environment that we are conversant with, where in the header, there may be, in this context, there may be use package. That means there are so many packages, library packages. For example, AMS Math is a library used for the purpose of mathematical symbols, advanced mathematical symbols. So if you want to use this type of symbols be generated in course of your document, you need to use \use package. Okay. So \use package is that particular instruction for that. \page style is basically for the purpose of your page numbering and things like that. So page style empty means there will be no numbering as such. Until and unless you specify this, suppose you want to have your document prepared but without any page number, suppose. So then you have to specify it like this, page style empty. Okay. Well, then you may have a typical title for your document, some text. So this is my first document. You may write like this, or maybe \title or something like that. Okay. So typically when you are preparing a paper, technical paper, so the title of the paper should come here. Let us start thinking in that way. While preparing a paper for possible submission in a journal or in a conference using LaTeX, so typically the title comes here. Then \author, within this, the author specification you can have. I need to explain two things. One is dollar and dollar. So there is something between $2. So dollar is used for mathematical symbol. So if I want to create or give some mathematical effect locally, then that portion which I want to give effect to must be surrounded by begin dollar and end dollar. So for example, begin dollar, end dollar, there is hat1 means this is a superscript effect will be generated locally. So it means that P Dotto, there will be a superscript 1 appearing somewhat in an elevated position. So indicating which may be used for the purpose of, author specification somewhere else. So similarly, as Mukhopadhyay, given 2 is written in superscript. So like this. Then there is another explanation that I need to explain. This is a double backslash. In course of a text, anywhere double backslash is appearing means that it's a new line. So line break will be there. Okay, so if I need in course of my textual specification somewhere a new line effect be given, so double backslash is the particular one that you want to use. Backslash date is within brace nothing means basically you can specify your date. So what may happen is that you may specify a fixed date. Just a moment. So for that you may need to specify a fixed date, and that is not going to change, or maybe the current date. So that means the document of this particular the date on which the document is being displayed, that is dynamic. So through this backslash date specification you can regulate them, so that opportunity or possibility or flexibility is there. Okay. So then begin document we have already explained. Then backslash make title, this is a mandatory declaration in that sense. Whenever there is a question of title structure like this, until and unless this backslash make title is provided, it is not going to, the effect will not be enabled basically. So in that sense, make title is a sort of mandatory declaration rather mandatory formality that you have to fulfill, provided there is title or author specification or things like this. Okay, so what happened? Just a moment. Point is missing. Okay. So this is primarily the header part. I just highlighted the header part. How header part is developed in between document class declaration and begin document declaration. Okay. So this is just to highlight this. Coming to different type of document classes has already been indicated. Just for the sake of formality, there are different type of document classes like article, book, report. So article is a document for preparing papers or articles like this, journal or say conference papers like this. Reports are basically used for the purpose of thesis writing. So containing multiple chapters or structure like this. Book is typically used for the purpose of developing or preparing a document in a book format like this. So depending upon your requirement, which type of document you want to prepare, whether it is it's an article or a report or a book, you have to specify within document class declaration. Okay, so you can parameterize which type of document you want to develop. Apart from them, there are other not so frequently used, but maybe useful. Other classes like later, slides, etc. So document class later is used for preparing letter type structure. So they are not that much popular for obvious reasons, because typically a letter contains only textual content. So Word is definitely more, comfortable. I mean, more comfortable an option over there. You can prepare slides like this, PowerPoint slides like this. Okay. So for this, it may also be prepared. For example, this particular one is the source code of this particular one. This is written, first of all, this present slide is written in using LaTeX. So we have used LaTeX, specified slides for the corresponding document class specification. Slides may be useful in a very limited manner with limited facilities, but if I need multiple control, that means navigation from sections, subsections within a PowerPoint presentation, so somewhat extended PowerPoint sort of facility, then there is another class called Beamer. Okay, so Beamer specification may be there for this purpose. Okay, in situations you may use Beamer for your purpose to do that. Okay, so now coming to the question of publication, different publishers supply their own document classes and style files. So if you want to, say, for example, publish something using in Springer, so Springer will have its own, its own typical document specification, document preparation specification in LaTeX. Elsevier will have its own, so on and so forth. So it depends upon the particular publishing or publication house, whose document you are trying to prepare. So they may have their own style and other document specifications which you have to comply. But in spirit, the way they function, they are very much similar. Okay, so only the header specification may change a bit from one another, but otherwise, structurally, they are very much similar. So everything comes in between begin document and end document. Whatever I want to appear in my document. For the most part, you can just type your text normally. Words are separated by one or more spaces. Okay. So suppose you are writing in Word. So if there are more than one space, then there will be, say, a green underline like this or blue underline like this. Okay, so it will indicate. So the effect is instantaneous in case of Word. But on the contrary, I mean, you don't have to bother about this part when you are making your scripting for LaTeX. So whether there are more than one spaces doesn't matter. So eventually, since it is taken care of by the compiler, LaTeX compiler, it will address that issue by its own. So, for example, this is something. If you have a narrow space like this, and you try to write in a typical, say, Word language or Word as a platform, so you may come across a document like this. On the contrary, writing the same piece of ASCII text and putting it for compilation in LaTeX will yield something like this on the right hand side. So these facilities or these opportunities or these positive points are there in favor of LaTeX over formatted or format specific word processing softwares like Word or something like that. So this is very much format dependent. Word is a very format dependent way, which LaTeX is not. You can control or regulate the size of your text or size of your words with different size and specifications like teeny, script size, footnote size, etc., etc., starting from there to huge, with different effects like this. So the effects may be used locally or may be used globally also. Okay, depending upon its scope used within this brace. Say, for example, \teeny, I am a good boy. If I write everything within this brace, then I am a good boy will be of same size, and particularly this size, teeny size. Okay, so that means you can control the size of words or parts of your document as per your requirement or necessity. Okay. Now, quotation marks are a bit tricky. So we have to be a bit alert out here. Use a backtick on the left and the apostrophe on the right. So basically, that you have to be very careful about. So when it's single quotes, it's like this. Okay, and the output will be like this. When it's double quotes, you have to use like this, and the output will be like this. So that you have to be a bit careful about, because while preparing your document, your .tx document, LaTeX compiler compliant font, you have to be a bit careful while using this quotation or double quote or single quote. Some common characters have special meaning in LaTeX, so they are sort of key, reserved characters, better to say, like percentage. So you cannot use percentage wherever you want. Hash, say ampersand, dollar, etc. So these are reserved symbols. Now the question comes: if in course of my text I want percentage to appear, what to do? So then you have to basically escape it using backslash. So backslash percent means the effect of reservation will be neutralized for that particular context, and instead of percentage, if you use backslash percentage in the physical appearance of percentage will appear in your text. Similarly, backslash hash, backslash ampersand, backslash dollar, etc. But otherwise, if you don't provide any escape effect, then these are reserved characters. Okay, so that's precisely just I mentioned what. Okay. As a compiler, it might be a bit confusing when it's trying to compile your document, and that means you're fixing all the syntax. Okay, if it does, it stops with an error which must be fixed by you. Okay, so that means it's very much like similar to a compiler-based language, where you write down your program code and compile it, and if the compiler is not satisfied, it basically throws some exception or some error message for your purpose to fix. Okay, so it's notionally it's very much similar like this. For example, if you misspell /emph just MEPH, okay, suppose it's just an example, LaTeX will stop with an undefined control sequence error, because /MEPH is not a standard command that the compiler knows about. Okay, so encountering error, to start with, don't get panicked. And this is the common story when we learn a new language framework, say whether it is C or any language. First, we must get ourselves habituated with encountering errors or error messages like that. So you must not get panic, because typically it's a programming, yet another programming or script language platform that we are using. So error message, encountering error message is quite common. So don't panic, errors happen, fix them as soon as they arise. If what you just type caused an error, just fix them. Try to find it if anything, any advertence has taken place locally or maybe due to some other cause. Just identify the cause and fix it. So this is the common practice what we follow in case of developing a particular code written in a particular program written in a particular programming language. Next comes the mathematical symbols or mathematical structures like this. So why dollar signs are special? Now the question comes. Please, maybe 2-3 slides back, we have specified that dollar is a reserved character. So why is it so? Because dollar is extremely useful in mathematical scenario. We use them to mark mathematics in text. So see here, suppose if I use let A and B be distinct positive integers, if my input text is like this, the output will be like this. On the contrary, if I put A and B, this means that mathematical symbols or mathematical expressions within dollar, there will be an effect like this. And a person who is conversant with, maybe this is the way our eyes are set, I don't know, I'm not very sure. But typically what happens is that when we encounter mathematical expressions like this or symbols like this, our eyes are more set to come across representations like this rather than this. So for this, you need dollar as your reserved keywords be placed in the proper places. So $A, for example, means this particular A within this begin dollar and end dollar will have an effect, mathematical effect on it. Percentage is used for this command. Okay, so percentage not so good means this is a command. Percentage much better is command. So comment, I'm sorry. So if you want to make some local comment, then that comment you have to specify after percentage within that line, within that particular line. Okay. So use of dollar signs in pairs, this is must, because whenever there is a single dollar, there must be accompanied end dollar. Otherwise, until and unless the matching dollar is encountered by the compiler, it will put everything treat everything as mathematical, part of mathematical expressions. So dollars must appear in pairs, and whatever you want to put your mathematical effect on, you just put that in between those two. Those $2 or pair of dollars. Okay, LaTeX handles spacing automatically. It ignores your spaces. So, for example, $y equal to mx plus c. Say there may be blank spaces between plus and say c. Okay, so whatever you want, whether this one or this one, there may be so many abundance of blank characters, doesn't matter. Ultimately, after processing, your output will look like this. Okay, so cadet is used, already we have used, cadet is used for superscripts, and for subscripts, we use underscore. So it means that C_2 x caret to y equal to this plus this plus this will yield, since within dollars, so mathematically enabled environment, local environment. So the effect will be y equal to c2x square plus c1x plus c0. So for using LaTeX or becoming comfortable with LaTeX, we must be having this particular expression in our mind. I want this expression to be generated. So in order to generate this expression, which particular script I need to write? This is one. So with this end in view, I have to prepare this script. That should be the approach. Curly braces are used for the purpose of grouping. Okay, so say for example, look at it. F underscore n, fantastic. F underscore n minus, must be, what? Suppose I want Fn equal to Fn minus 1 plus n minus 2. This is the Fibonacci sequence. Now, if I want Fibonacci sequence in this form, the appropriate code is this, appropriate script is this. Now see, instead of doing this, if I just forget or omit brace, use of brace, curly brace like this, so then absence of curly brace will take care of a single character. So that means since brace is absent here, it will act on a single character, that means n. So as a result, what is going to happen? Fn equal to Fn. Now this minus 1 will not have any effect because there is no grouping using this curly parenthesis like this. So it will come as a normal text. So Fn equal to Fn minus 1 plus Fn minus 2. So it means that if more than one character is to be subscripted or superscripted, then the use of curly bracket or curly brace is imperative. Use them. Okay, so well then, if I want an expression like this means summation omega equal to summation k running from 1 to n omega k. Then for this mathematical expression, so dollar then dollar. So backslash omega will generate backslash capital, start with capital omega. So capital omega will generate this capital omega. And small o, starting with small o, will generate this small omega. So it's very subtle. You have to be careful while using starting with big O or small o, because the effects will be different. So backslash sum will generate this particular summation symbol like this, and since it is coming as a subscript, so this subscript is coming as after underbar, and this is superscript, so it comes as superscript or caret. Okay, so that is it. Now, for example, if it's a big and scary displayed on its own line using either double dollar or double dollar and unnumbered or equivalently equation. So let me explain. I think instead of single dollar pair, if double dollar pair is used like this, what happens is this: anything in between double dollar pair like this will appear separately, and it will be centrally adjusted. This part will be centrally adjusted. Now, what is the difference? Suppose I am in a running text and I want mathematical impression or mathematical effect be given locally, but within the text itself, running text itself. Then single dollar is the one that I need, single dollar pair. But if instead I need the mathematical expression be displayed in a separate line altogether, with centrally adjusted. Then instead of single dollar pair, I need to use double dollar pair like this. So if double dollar pair specification is given like this, the effect will look like this. Okay. We may use \begin equation, \end equation like this. Okay, and equation yields centrally adjusted positioning of the entire expression, and then right adjusted equation number. This is automatically provided. I have mentioned. Okay, so now see if I want an expression like this where numerator and denominator expressions will appear, maybe complex expressions like this. So then x equal to understood. Then whatever is coming in the numerator will be there in the first brace. Okay, and whatever coming in the appearing in the second in the denominator will come in the second part, and there will be a fraction, so abbreviation of fraction. So \frac specification that you have to do. So the moment \frac is encountered, it will immediately understand, the compiler will immediately understand, well, I have to generate a numerator denominator structure like this, where the numerator will be specified within the first brace combination, and the denominator will be available in the second brace combination. Within curly brace, there may be nested brace also, as it is happening here. Doesn't matter, but with the specification of \frac, it will expect a pair of such brace pairs, I should say. Okay, so and accordingly it will act. So, for example, \pm is plus minus, will generate a symbol like this, plus minus. Then \sqrt will generate a symbol like this, square root. Now, under square root, quite a good number of characters are appearing. So they must be placed or grouped using curly brace. Okay, so here it is. Now, equation is an environment, like in fact anything that appears within begin \end specification, that is an environment. Okay, so if I want, say for example, this structure like this, then this is like this. Now, when I write, so there is a subtle difference. Please note, when I write something within text, running text, then typically it is written like this, and the result will be like this. And if I use equation mode, I have to specify like this, then it will appear like this. There is a difference. Please note, for example, this one, k equal to 1, n, they are appearing below this level and above this level. Whereas in running text, these are basically, aligned like this. So it means that how you use it. Now suppose equation provides equation number automatically, I mentioned. Now if I want that equation number, be suppressed, I should say, then / time is possibly short, right? Okay, so is time short, I think? Hello? Is there time left, or I should stop? Enough of things are there. Hello?
Hello.
Should I proceed, or perhaps it is time for the next speaker?
Hello, madam. Hello.
Hello?
Hello, I'm talking Rasmar Singh, madam. Please tell me.
Hi Janaviji, are you having some issue in joining the groups?
Yeah, madam, which group I don't know, I can't understand what you're talking.
Should I proceed? Am I audible, by the way?
Yes, you're
Yeah,
audible,
yeah,
sir.
yeah, sir, you are audible.
So should I proceed, or my time is up? Possibly my time is up, right?
Yeah, no, sir. If you want, you can continue. You can stretch it up further 10-15 minutes.
Okay, let me give some time. Let me give some time. And start doing my work.
Okay.
So, okay.
Sharup sir, you can mute your mic. It is creating some noise.
Okay. So, if I use itemize as an environment, then the effects will be like this. We have already seen. Now, if I want, in addition to numbering, numbered items like this, 1, 2, etc., then for that, the appropriate environment is enumerate. So begin enumerate, end enumerate. Inside that, the specification is very much similar, backslash items. Each and everyone is item. Okay, so now if I want, instead of numbering, if I want some text be written as the indentation, for the purpose of indentation, then that we may specify here.
Hello, sir. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Unfortunately, I can't listen. I don't know why it is happening.
What happened? I'm sorry. Hello? Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes, sir. You are audible.
So should I continue or what?
Yes. Sure.
We may need sometimes to use footnotes in specific contexts. So in that case, if I want whatever you want to appear as footnote, then backslash footnote, then whatever you want must be put there within brace. So footnote marks such as 1, 2 appears where the command is given, and the footnote at that particular bottom of that particular page will appear. So LaTeX is going to take care of everything related to this. If I want something to be written with central adjustment, then begin center. Center is the environment for that. So begin center, end center, and anything we write in between that will appear in the text with centrally adjusted. Okay. If you have just one line, such as an image, you can use center line also. So in a sense, the effect of begin center, end center, and center line are similar, other than the fact that in case you use, there's a single instruction or single sort of instruction that can be done within central line specification also. There is another powerful, or maybe useful, better to say useful environment. Suppose I want anything that I want to place as it is, with no effect being given by the compiler. That means I want to escape the effect of compiler from that portion or segment of text. then backslash begin verbatim and backslash end verbatim. That means verbatim is the environment for that. So the moment verbatim environment is declared, the compiler understands, well, it is beyond my jurisdiction. I am not going to do anything within this until and unless I encounter backslash end verbatim. So only after end verbatim is encountered, my job starts from there onwards. So as a result of this, what comes as output is this one. So use package I have already mentioned. So use package is for mathematical usage of mathematical symbols or special symbols like this. But in fact, if I want advanced mathematical symbols or typical, not so frequent mathematical symbols be used, then AMS math is the package that you need to link, and for that backslash use package is the command that you have to provide in the header section of your specification. AMS math, if we include, we have distinct advantages in respect of displays. For example, this particular one will have an effect like this, whereas this particular one will have effect like this. So which is definitely more impressive. So I comes below the description of min. So essentially, if you use AMS math as use package, the same code, but use of AMS math will yield this one. Whereas if you don't use or include AMS math, it will appear like this. So typically, if your document, the moral of the story is this: if your document is something where mathematical expressions are frequently used, it's always recommended that you include the use package AMS math declaring use package in the header part. Operator name, this is another reserved keyword. So backslash operator name cov means covariance. Backslash operator name var means variance. So this cov, var, etc. used for covariance, variance, etc. They can be used using backslash operator name, but for that, you have to include AMS mathematics. So what I mean to say is this: these are some examples. It's always recommended in case you handle mathematical symbols and expressions to include AMS math as a package. So what happened?
Sir,
Bolo.
sir, just one thing. The next speaker has just called up, and he is already in a meeting. So he requested if you can continue, there is no problem.
Okay, I have one small observation. The moment he is free, you feel free to,
Yes,
intimate.
yes, sure, sir.
Don't hesitate.
We'll intimate as soon as he joins.
Okay, no problem.
ठीक है, sir.
Now look at it. I want a particular expression or a sequence of expressions like this, where typically these equal symbols, they are properly aligned and things like this. So it happens in case of dealing with mathematical expressions like this. So what exactly it is? Align is the one. Align then followed by star. Star has got specific significance. In fact, because of shortage of time, I cannot elaborate further. But for the time being, just be prepared that use star for your purpose. So align star environment. So then x plus 1 cube. Now see, this ampersand is being used as a separator. So what exactly it is? So this is a separator. See, as if this entire piece is decomposed into two parts. One is this part, this is the left part, and this is the, starting from equality onward, this is the right part. So see, in the left part, the first line contains x plus 1 cube. And the right part in the first line is this one. Excellent, no doubt. Double backslash means there is line break, fantastic. Then see, there is nothing before this ampersand, means the left hand side is blank. It will be left blank since there is nothing appearing before ampersand. So ampersand is basically playing, in this context, is playing the role of a separator. Is playing the role of a separator. So it separates the left from the right hand content from the left hand content. So since there is nothing in the left, so it will leave blank here. Similarly, then double backslash, and once again nothing in the left. So it's basically you manipulate using different facilities or utilities available to you at your discretion. Okay, so naturally, use your ampersand as a separator in the proper place. Use them properly to achieve your desired result. Double backslash is used for new line. Another mathematical, mathematical display that you maybe quite frequently need of. So matrix or determinant structures like this. So for this, suppose I want this one. So backslash left, then this open bracket for this. Okay, and backslash right, then closing bracket for this. And anything in between, they are surrounded by environment called array. So begin array, end array. And in order to specify the alignment that you want within the array, you have to be specific within brace. So it is the additional parameterization of the array environment itself. So C means there are three C's. See, it means that there are three columns. Since there are three many, so it indicates that there are three columns, and each column is centrally adjusted. This C stands for central. If I want all of them be adjusted left, so L in that case, or all the columns are adjusted right, then R. So as is needed, and there may be combination. So suppose I want L, then C, then R. It's also accepted. So whether it is C, L, or R, you have to specify for each and every individual column and how many columns that will be available from how many items are appearing here. Okay, naturally, if there are three columns, how many separators do you need? 3 minus 1, 2. So there are two ampersands, just observe. So A, ampersand B, ampersand C. A, then separated, then B, separated, then C. Double backslash, so new line. D, E, F, so on and so forth. So after execution of this one, this particular type of impression or this particular type of effect will be available to you. Now, please note double dollar, begin double dollar and end of double dollar. That means everything is centrally adjusted because the interpretation of double dollar or use of double dollar has already been explained. Now, instead of using this one, this open parenthesis and left parenthesis, right parenthesis, if I want this one, vertical bar like this, what? Simply, instead of bracket, you put left here. Instead of right, closing parenthesis, right vertical bar there. Very much simple. Backslash chi is this for this one. Okay, so chi is equal to this one. Okay, so you may go on building your mathematical expressions, symbols that way. Huge facilities or huge different type of options are there, which you can always explore. Only thing you have to pick up and get conversant with. I want this type of an expression, say modulo x or absolute x equal to x if x is greater than equal to 0, minus x if x is less than 0. So we may be in need of, frequently in need of this type of definitions, functional definitions like this. So what it is within double dollar or central adjustment, backslash left, then this open parenthesis. Now, open parenthesis is somewhat reserved, because open parenthesis is used for the purpose of grouping. We know by now. So naturally it has to be escaped. So backslash open parenthesis. Okay. Now there is no closing parenthesis. So corresponding backslash right. Since there is nothing, so put a dot there. That's it. So you cannot leave blank because it will generate syntax error. So there must be, the compiler will expect something. So nothing means put a dot, just say. And then begin array, then end array. So there are two columns, it indicates there are two columns. In fact, this is the particular way we have framed it. We use two columns, both left aligned. So that is why it's L. So the first one is X. So since there are two columns, there will be one separator. So X, then ampersand, then backslash mbox. I'm going to explain what mbox is all about very soon. Then what it is, and then the second one with after double dollar, the second line will be generated. Okay. Backslash GEQ is greater than equal to this particular thing. Understood? Quite well understandable. Because there is specific one-to-one correspondence. All you need, which particular use of script is yielding what. This association you have to get acquainted with. That's it. Now coming back to backslash mbox, as I was committed to explain, backslash mbox stands for local escaping or local switching of environment. Now, since we are using double dollar, so which environment we are in? We are basically in mathematical environment, mathematically enabled environment. So everything within begin double dollar and until and unless next double dollar is encountered, everything is mathematically in an enabled environment. Now, within this mathematical environment, suppose I want something to escape mathematical environment, or local effect may be given where mathematical environment will be escaped for some time, and then once again come back to mathematical environment. Okay. So if that is the requirement, then we have to put backslash mbox. Now, so for example, backslash mbox is used on which scope? Starting from if up to before semicolon. Look. Okay. So because you have used backslash mbox, it means that mathematical environment is presently not, or presently neutralized, better to say. So what is the environment this particular if description is in? Is it mathematical or non-mathematical? No, it is non-mathematical because initially we were in mathematical environment, but whenever within mathematical environment backslash n box has been utilized or used, now it is non-mathematical. So that is why this if is appearing not as italic, but as normal text. Okay. Then once again, now I once again want to go back to mathematical because this portion I want in mathematical environment, so I can do that. Right? Similar is the story here. So basically using mathematical, basically using backslash n box, you can regulate locally, local switching between mathematically enabled environment and non-mathematical environment that way, in whichever way you want. Enough of mathematical symbols, all are supported in AMS Math package. So in fact, it's not possible, not exactly needed to remember everything. It's already there and its documentation is also available. So the particular symbol that you may be in need of in a particular context, just go there and see how to generate this particular symbol or this specific symbol. So some of the symbols are used quite frequently, say alpha, beta, gamma, delta, etc. But some may not be that much, frequently used one. So you don't need to remember them. It's not needed also. So many are there. Okay. All right. Then less than equal, greater than equal, different type of relations for database, bow tie. I mean this different type of database operators like this. So many symbols are there. Left arrow, right arrow, different types of arrows. So many symbols, union, intersection, summation, some pi, multiplication, integration, so on and so forth. So frequently used Greek letters. In standard functions, cost function, exponential, ln function, log function, etc. So some common accents, n underbar, a overline, a hat. So backslash hat, a will yield, will place hat at the top of that particular expression or that particular character. Sorry. Should I proceed or it's another new one?
Sir, you can proceed, sir.
Should I? Okay. Then comes the page layout part. So suppose now setting the page specification, how much margin I want to leave at the top, right hand side, left hand side, bottom, etc. So for this there are different characteristics or comments like this, backslash top margin, backslash bottom margin, etc. Text width, text height, all these things are there with their respective explanations. Text width, text height. So you use the particular command with requisite specification, the effect will be available. A document is split into logical parts, a title, an abstract, number of parts, number of chapters in each part. Next comes number of sections in each chapter, number of subsections within a section, then number of subsections within subsection. So this is the typical logical structure, hierarchical structure of a typical document. So availability of a logical part depends on the document class specification. For example, if I use specify document class as article, you cannot expect chapter be there, because an article typically doesn't have a chapter. If you want chapter be necessary, then you should go for report or book. Okay, it's like this. Typesetting of the sections may vary depending on the document class, of course, needless to say. So, say here, it was given earlier. Now, if this particular piece of code is compiled, the effect will look like this. So this is an article. It's basically effect of the title specification. Then author specification will appear here. Okay. Then date is suppressed, basically \date. Nothing means date is suppressed. You may omit this part also. Okay, if you want. Then begin document, end document, then \make title, because you have title specification out there. Begin abstract, end abstract. So abstract is yet another environment. So this is there. \i dots means ... I am not very sure whether you were able to look into. I mean, there are 3 dots, and the 3 consecutive dots will be available if you use \i dots. Okay. That. All right. For generating a section, \section. For generating a subsection, \subsection. \subsection, they may be used. So it's typically structurally it looks like document class, then begin document, end document. Then there may be sections like this. Suppose introduction section. So you specify \section introduction. This is the second section, section method. This is the third section, section results. Last section, section conclusion. So this is typically the overall structure of a paper. So the moment \introduction comes, \section introduction comes, not only introduction will appear as the section title, but the number of that section, since this is the first section declaration, the number will be the number of that, or index of that particular section will be 1. Method will get section ID 2. Section ID 3 will go for results and 4 for conclusion. So this is how it is. Okay, now within this method section, okay, we investigate ... This is the effect of \i dots. Not I dots, it's basically L dots. I'm sorry. So \subsection, that means section followed by within sections subsection. So within 2.1, this first 2, that means anything coming before dot will be the section index followed by the subsection index within that section. Similarly, for this subsection, this is 2.2. Now this subsection comes under this subsection, that is why it is 2.2.1. This subsection will get 2.2.2, so on and so forth. So indexing is just maintaining one-to-one sort of correspondence between the way they appear vis-a-vis the result that we get. Okay. Another very strong, feature offered or provided by LaTeX as a system is label reference. So backslash label and backslash reference, let me explain. So for example, suppose this is one. Now I use backslash label immediately after the declaration of this particular section, okay, and within brace this intro. It means that immediately after this specification, since backslash label is encountered, this particular section will be labeled by intro. Now you might wonder, well, what we are going to achieve out of it? The reason is that the power is somewhere else. So suppose I want in section, suppose within backslash ref method. So the moment backslash ref, then the brace is encountered by the compiler, it will search for which particular corresponding label this particular method is using. So it will search for that. The corresponding label is here. So what will it do is that the method, whatever number or whatever index it gets dynamically from it, will fetch it from there and paste it or put it. Okay, so it's extremely powerful because let me explain. Normally it may look a bit cumbersome. Suppose an option is, why? Since introduction is my first section, so wherever I use introduction or refer introduction, in section 1, put 1 manually. What is the problem? The problem is nothing until and unless you change your section index. Suppose this happens, what happens is that in between section introduction, section method, you incorporate some other section at a later part. Then all the indexing gets upset, and anything that you have done manually will no more going to serve your purpose. So everything gets shattered. So this you can overcome only by dynamic labeling and referencing. And backslash label, backslash reference is precisely doing that thing, which ensures that even if there is internal revision or modification of indexing, automatically it will be taken care of by the system. You don't have to bother, because the label referencing mechanism, fetching the proper index out of the context from label reference specification, will be done by the responsibility of the compiler. You don't have to bother. Now, it is workable or manageable provided it is a small one. Suppose we are dealing with say 5-6 pages of document. Nice, excellent. But just think, suppose it is a document or a thesis, say of 200 pages, where there are so many chapters. Within chapters there are so many sections, there are so many tables, there are so many figures, whatnot, other type of objects, then sections, subsections, everything. And each and every individual object has got its own labeling. And if I want to make reference of a particular object manually, I am going to be landed in a mess if any change in indexing takes place at a subsequent phase. So this is the reason why label reference is a very powerful dynamic mechanism to tackle this indexing specification in the document provided by the system. Okay, writing a large document can make access to several parts. It's better if you write a program, there are use of functions. Okay. Okay, so instead of writing down the program entirely, you use functions. So there is control switch, local control switch from one part to the body of the function, and the control getting back after proper suitable execution. So this type of control transfer mechanism is also available here. So instead of writing the entire file at a go, you may use \input or \include for making different or individual files for different parts. A typical example is that instead of going for the entire thesis, what is typically done is that each and every chapter is included or inputted using this \input or \include specification. So it means that your header file is very small. \begin \document class, \begin document, end document. Then each and every individual chapter will appear as just input specification. So first input will go transfer the control to the first chapter file, second one to the second chapter file, so on and so forth. So that way it works. So it's basically restructuring in a more modular manner. You can think that way. So this is the left-hand side, which will give you the effect in the right-hand side. So, in fact, this is what we have explained already. So \include means there will be one file called algorithm.tex, a file called proof.tex, so on and so forth will be there. Okay, so this is modular restructuring of the entire description. I think it is time that we should stop. Okay, it's a logical point where we missed out.
Sir, this talk is really interesting. As I can see, figure and table